Hello everyone, today we're doing another quick draft of Dominaria United, and it looks like a pretty easy first pick Raff here. Hopefully getting back the captain's call or the artillery blast. Although I would actually be willing to take a Voda-C scavenger in a deck like this. A special nod to Extinguish the Light, as probably the best black card in the pack. Stronghold Arena's not awful, it's just a little awkward. But I think we're content to let other people fight over the black stuff. Although the second best color in the pack is pretty clearly white. You're watching RobotRallis, thank you so much for tuning in today. While Shore Up is actually extremely good with a card like Raff, there's also a Lightning Strike in the pack, and also a Argivian Phalanx and Sprouting Goblin. All of these cards are actually quite strong. And to be honest, right now I think I should be taking the Sprouting Goblin. If we do end up in blue-white, it would suck to pass up on the Shore Up and the Argivian Phalanx. But for right now, I think I'm just going to take this card. Just probably stronger than Sprouting Goblin. Or rather, probably stronger than the other stuff. There's a Battlewing Mystic and a Combat Research that immediately jump out to me, followed by a Tallest Lookout. Well, Tallest Lookout fits in the Raff deck. So do Battlewing Mystic and Combat Research. There's a Steel Crusher if we're looking to go into red-green. Not much else there. I think I'm just going to take the Tallest Lookout. I think it's the best card here. Haunting Figment, Bite Down, Argivian Phalanx, oh, Citizen's Arrest, of course. Yeah, we're just going to take the Citizen's Arrest. Well, if we're in blue-white, Protect the Negotiators is premier. There's also an Argivian Cavalier, which I think is possibly better. I think cards like this are just very important for decks like this one. Let's take the Sprouting Goblin, put it to the side. We're looking like a pretty easy lock for blue-white right now. Well, Coalition Sky Knight is by no means weak, but there's a Root Walla still in the pack here. It's very interesting. Even if we can splash green, we're more likely to play a Czar than we are to do anything else. But I think we're just going to take the Sky Knight. Interesting. There's an Impede Momentum, a Najal, a Crystal Grotto. We're not 0% to be able to play a Najal, and Najal is actually quite strong. So we'll take it. Be looking for a way to justify a single red card here. It's not impossible to cast by any stretch. It's quite strong when you do. Granted, we don't have anything that works with it here, but like, you don't need much. Alright, we have a little bit of a wait here. Alright, so in our last fresh pack, we're choosing between Meteorite and Combat Research. We're just going to take the Combat Research. Well, Voda-C Scavenger came back. We're just going to take the Vanguard. Kind of interesting that it tabled. I think it's a fine enough card. I think it just does just enough work to get by. Feels like it is maybe missing a third point of toughness. But maybe at that point it'd be a bit annoying in the format, I don't know. But so far things are looking nice. We went off plan once for the Sprouting Goblin, which I think was correct, because we were still seeing some red stuff and some green stuff even up through these last couple picks. But I think this is clearly the deck that we're meant to be in. Captain's Call didn't come back, notably, but that's okay. Well, there's an Argivian Phalanx and also a Shore Up. And to be honest, I don't know which one I'm supposed to take here. Creature count is important, but we already have like almost all creatures and one removal spell. I'm just gonna take a shore up. Works well with my combat research. Just generally good. Well, now there's another combat research and a join forces. Join forces is strong, and I think there is kind of a cap on how many combat research I can play. I mean, I guess we'll just take a goblin picker out of circulation. Pixie illusionist is actually not 0% to make it. Phasing of Zalfir. It's not an awful card, but I don't really think it's what I'm looking for here. Otherwise, we have Samite Herbalist, Argivian Cavalier, Cleaving Skyrider, which is another way that it looks like we would like to use a red splash. You know, I'm not opposed to taking the Cleaving Skyrider. One thing about the phasing of Zalfir is it does make bounce spells much better. But I think I'm just going to take an Argivian Cavalier or a Cleaving Skyrider. I'm inclined to take the Skyrider just because of flying and higher upside. Cavalier's good and all, but like, wow, that's an incredibly powerful card. Like, if we had a way to splash it, we would definitely be trying to do it. We already have one Pixie Illusionist. The other option is Talarian Geyser, and that's a pretty tough one. Yeah, we're just going to take the Geyser. This card is very annoying, and there is a chance we could splash it, but I'm just going to take the on-color playable. Not even playable, like very good card, to be honest. Stall for Time is nice. Impulse is nice. There's also Sacred Peaks, which is actually a way that we can splash the Najal. And the Cleaving Skyrider. Now we would play Impulse, we'd play Stall for Time. Do we need those cards though? Not really. Even so, I think take the Impulse. I'm running a little low on 2s. It's the first thing that jumps out to me as a reason why. Timely Interference is a very strong card in a deck like this. It's also a Argivian Phalanx, which at this point we are definitely happy about. Our only real spell payoff is Raff, so like, the beef is more important. Alright, we have Runic Shot, which we're definitely going to take. And Micromancer we'd be happy to get back, or Tallest Lookout, or Timely Interference, or even like, maybe even Hero's Heirloom, because we have a adequate number of both flying and or token creatures. We're just going to take the removal though. A Haunting Figment, not really what I'm looking for. Fires of Victory, not really something I think I can justify playing. I don't think we're looking to play a Radiant Grove either. We already have a lot of beef at 3. I don't really think I want a Soaring Drake. We'll just take a Fires of Victory for the sideboard. There's a chance we can make it work if we're very, very lucky. We're just going to take a Tallest Lookout. Very happy to see that card. More flying creatures is better. And right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Combat Research number 2, or Samite Herbalist. We already have one way to enlist. Pretty happy about that. All 2 actually. So Samite Herbalist is both a 2 and a way for us to enlist. Get some value. So another Samite Herbalist, and the phasing of Zalfir comes back. At this point, I think I'm just taking the phasing. I don't even know if I'm running it, but I am taking it. Pixie Illusionist number 2. Yeah, I mean, We'll take it. Suit up a pixie illusionist with a combat research and we actually have a game plan going. I don't think tie turner is really what I'm looking for. We're just going to take stall for time, although we do need 2s. Yeah, we took the tie turner. Look, stall for time is good and all, but like, I think I need things that actually impact the game. Timely interference comes back. That's good. That was the pack with Micromancer, wasn't it? I mean, I would assume so. I definitely didn't think that that would come back to me. But now we have a Timely Interference, a Shore Up, and a Runic Shot. So Micromancer goes up big time with 3 targets. See, a card like Shore Up is, you would think, worse when your opponent knows about it, but the problem is there's just not a way to play around it. Like, how do you play around this? Just don't cast your removal spells? Protect the Negotiators is a card I'm interested in. Talus Lookout number 3, also a card I would like. Defiler of Instinct is very strong, but not really something I can justify. And the rest of the pack's kind of medium, not really for us. So it's between Protect and Talus Lookout. Admittedly, I would probably play another Talus Lookout, but I think I'm just going to take Protect. Well, Battlewing Mystic is very nice. Definitely not upset about that. Yeah. Plaza of Heroes, we can't really make use of that, sadly. Salvaged Mana Worker and Sacred Peaks. I think we're just going to take the Sacred Peaks here. There's some value out of the land slot and a way to kick my stuff. Citizen's Arrest number 2, pretty happy to see that one. Makes our removal slightly less bad. Okay, so we have Molten Tributary, which we would play. Ty Turner, Soaring Drake. I think I'm just going to take the Tributary. Now we have a okay enough red splash. If only for the thing in the side, not the sideboard. If only to kick the Skyrider. Well, we can't really kick Banalish Sleeper. The rest of these cards are pretty medium. We'll just take this for the rare. Griffin Protector we would probably play. But we're looking a little heavy on 4s. We already have 3. It's not a bad card. Beats in the Sky at least, you know? Well, Mana Worker is the order of the day here, sadly. Just a way to cast our spells on time. Really, Flowstone Infusion comes back. That's weird. Well, we're not playing these other cards, are we? Problem is our card quality in just blue-white is not especially high. And our card quality in red is getting better by the pick. We also have Timely Interference. Is there a chance that we're supposed to be blue-red? I mean, look at this. We have Mesa Cavalier coming back. Mana Worker number 2, though, is probably what I'm taking. Definitely a strange draft. I think blue, red, and white were the colors that kind of opened up the most. I mean, we definitely got paid off in white. We definitely got paid off in blue. We definitely got paid off in red. It doesn't really feel like the choices were that difficult. Like, we kind of just took the best card in the pack for one of those colors every pick. I don't think we're playing any of these, but the one we want to see the least is Flowstone card. We're not playing another Charismatic Vanguard. I'm taking it over these other cards. Tie Turner. Yeah, we're not really playing it, but Smash to Dust. Okay. So now we just have to cut some cards, maybe consider bringing some other stuff in. Between the Singleton Pixie Illusionist, or rather two, I guess, and the 2 Salvaged Mana Workers and the 2 red sources, we have 6 without playing a single basic. And I think that is probably correct. I don't think I want to play another basic. We'll play a Fires of Victory. We'll play a Najal. How many does that give us? It's what, 8/8? Yeah, I mean, I guess with the Salvaged Mana Workers, it's not that bad. Citizen's Arrest is going to be a bit clunky, but we don't really have that many double color things here. We just have to cut some stuff, switch our view. It's actually not as bad as I thought, not very clunky at all. We have a pretty okay curve. I think the combat research stays. Runic Shot stays because it's removal. Impulse might be one of our worst cards, or maybe Tide Turner. So with the Samite Herbalist, Battlewing Mystic, and the Raff and the 2 Mana Workers, I think we're rounded off on 2s enough to not have to play that. I do think 17 lands is correct. Griffin Protector is our worst 4. Are we cutting 4s though? I guess. Join Forces is a fine combat trick. Six instants, 2 sorceries. What are my sorceries? Runic Shot. Solarian Geyser. Yeah, makes sense. Not cutting either of those for obvious reasons. I mean, it does seem kind of like I do need 3 cuts and we have 2 easy ones here in the red cards. But I think those cards are so strong, like if we copy a Timely Interference, we're drawing 2 cards in addition to the other stuff we're doing. And God forbid we have a card like Impulse in my hand, or Fires of Victory. Just go absolutely nuts. Or Join Forces, completely win combat no matter what. Post-combat Tolarian Geyser kicked. Gain 3 life, draw 2 cards, bounce 2 things. Just seems like a strong card in general. I think it's just good. Maybe it is not that great though. I mean, our only spell payoff is Najal and Raff. So it is maybe the case that we're supposed to cut a card like Impulse. And then 2 more. Charismatic Vanguard, not really at its best here. We don't really have the tokens to justify it. And then with a somewhat low creature count, it's possible that combat tricks are a little bit worse. So maybe Join Forces is not really what I'm looking for. Yep, I think this is fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 9, 10, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're actually lowest on blue sources here. We could afford to go down a white, but I don't really want to, because we'd be leading kind of heavily on the Illusionists and the Mana Workers if we do. Yeah, we'll just run it like this. Kind of running low on time today. Might only be able to cram a few games, but I'm gonna do as many as I can with the time I have. Alright, well we have mana, perfect mana at that. And I think we're supposed to keep this hand. That's a good one to play on turn 2. Well, we have red, and we have well, we have white and we have blue here. They could just kill this, but there's not a lot of things in these colors that kill it immediately. Well, fair enough, I guess. Well, our Raff's gone forever now, and we're just drawing more lands. It's possible that we're supposed to play out the Battlewing Mystic, but I think we can get more value out of it. We can deploy some lands, play a Phalanx soon enough. Toxic A-Bomb. Not really afraid of that one. Well, I mean, now we're at 7 lands, and we don't have anything in the deck that costs that much mana. So I think we're just going to pass again. We have 1 or 2 ways to gain life here in the deck. Well, I think just 1 actually. Not really too concerned about taking 3. Well, Sengir Connoisseur is a card that we're going to Citizen's Arrest. Okay, I've drawn nothing but lands for the whole game. I'm kind of looking to avoid that. Next turn, I can play the Argivian Phalanx. Take some more damage. Okay, well, don't really know what I'm supposed to do about that. We've drawn 9 lands. We started with, what, 3, 4 of them? I mean, this can't be Counterspell. What? Oh, okay, yeah, sure. Main deck, Destroy Evil. They have a kill spell for this too. Get a counter. Yep. I mean, if we draw another land, all we have is kick this. Okay, well. Jesus Christ. Okay, yeah, sure. Well, there's cards that do things, I guess. Alright, well, we're taking another 4 in the air here. What is that? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Jeez. That's in our top 16, 15? 10 lands in our top 15. Yikes. Alright, well, unfortunately, we are in a position where we need to block. So we are going to. They have a combat trick here. If they do, they're just slow moving, like wasting my time. Okay. They have a 5/5, I'm at 3. Writing's on the wall here. Charismatic Vanguard is not really a card I'm afraid of. We do have 2 different chumps here, so 11th land. Not really what I'm looking for. Can't kick it either, so we're just gonna play it out. Attacks, pass turn. We don't have any way to augment the Battlewing Mystic enough to block. Profitably anyway, or even trade. So I am going to, well, cool. Yikes. Alright, well, they've drawn more removal than I have. I don't have any kind of catch-up mechanic, I'm just dead. Cool. Combat research right on time after my 11th land in half my deck. Alright, well, some games you're just meant to lose, and that was one I was meant to lose. We had a good hand for lands, and then we drew 6 more of them in short order. not really any way around that one, and mulling that hand was probably just a bad idea. I don't think that was a mull. Alright, well, we're on the draw. And our hand is commensurately awful. We're leaning on the mana worker a bit, but I think that's okay. People don't generally blow up the mana worker, and we have a lot of sources. Great. Well, we'll definitely play out the Illusionist turn 1. And we won't be blocking, we'll just be attacking. Really? Interesting. Okay, so they do have a combat trick here. Might be, oh yeah, this is a tribute to Urborg. Or possibly, God knows. Draw 2. Are you sure? Okay with that. Take some damage. Fine by me. Sadly, we don't have a great way to punish them here. We can attack with a mana worker, however, while the getting's good, if you will. A little unfortunate that we started with 3 lands and we haven't drawn a single one yet. Just play out the Cavalier. End turn. Next turn we have Phalanx, if nothing else. Okay, well, Automatic Librarian is fine by me. It means they have equivalently awful blocks next turn. Battlefly Swarm is not very good if you can't give a Death Touch, but they can block with the Automatic Librarian, I guess. Well, I mean, I like this card and all, but, like, just not doing enough for me. I think we're supposed to use this, or maybe we're supposed to just play the Phalanx out. I don't know. Yeah, I think we're just gonna play out the Phalanx. If we ever get a 5th land, the Fires of Victory is much better. I don't really think I want to play out the Talarian Geyser. Well, not yet. I'll just use this. And we will enlist the help of something. I guess it'll be this. If they'd like to trade for only a part of my 3, that's fine. They would. Another tap land. Well, that's a Planeswalker. Unfortunately for them, they have awful blocks now. Just absolutely miserable. Like, this card's good, but like, yeah, it's not really that good here. While a Raff is a good card and all, but like, it doesn't really do anything, does it? Especially when we're just not drawing lands. We need lands here. Well, we do draw land, but it's just a basic island. That goes to 2. We have 4 creatures in play. 1 more land and we can get there on the Fires of Victory. They get some cards here. They can have a Mary's Outrider. I'll take 2. And we can just kill that if we draw land. We do not draw a land, of course. We can, however, Fires of Victory at a way the regular way. We have to do that before we play out the Raff though, otherwise we don't get 4 damage. I would love to kick this card, but I don't have mana. We're just going to play out the Battlewing Mystic here. Alright, so they did get a card's worth of value out of the Jaya, and it gained them some life, so it was kind of a draw card, gain some life. A lot of life, granted. I put what, like 3-4 damage into it? Not awful. Well, that doesn't block. And, okay, sure. Vohar. Okay, so once again, they're in a situation where the blocks are actually kind of miserable for them. We have an Ajal here. Are we playing the Raff by itself, or are we playing one of these other cards? They can play a Shadow Prophecy from the graveyard using Vohar next turn. Are we attacking with Battlewing Mystic? That's the real question. I think the answer is yes. If they'd like to trade for my 2-1, that means that they can't trade the Battlefly Swarm for anything else later in the game. They're in double chump mode. Well, single chump mode, rather. Najal? Yeah, Najal's big, bare minimum. However, next turn I can pump my creatures and give them Vigilance. Now we'll just play out the Najal. Or the Coalition Sky Knight, rather. Might seem greedy to play out the 2/2 flyer instead of the 5/4 ground creature, but like, they have this, probably going to be chumping something. Tattered Apparition. It's very annoying. This is a great turn for me. Well, Raff is about as good as I would expect, and the Salvage Mana Worker and Pixie Illusionist have meant that my mana is actually not awful, even though we have awful mana right now. So I'm kind of drowning them in card advantage. If they have a sweeper here, things could be bad for me, but yeah, I can't do anything about that, so I won't. But that doesn't really do enough. They're, what, are they dead on board? Yes. No. Yes, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Well, that's the power of Raff. Drew me a card off of doing basically nothing but being in play. And then it won me the game with a pump spell built into it. It's a very interesting game there. The misery of the first game was, I think, overshadowed by the interesting nature of that one. Ooh, this person was actually in a pod. So they might be in some kind of busted-ass green deck. Unfortunately, we have awful mana problems again. We can't keep this hand at all. Oh my god, really? What the fuck is going on with these cards? My goodness. Yeah, we'll keep it. I mean, we have Fix the illusionist and protect the negotiators. I'll put fires of victory on the bottom because we're kind of ages away from getting that to work. Also at a deficit for cards here. Alright, well. Root Wallow? Yeah, I think they got the Green Widow. Wish there was a chat box so I could say hello in a more personal way. Are they choosing which best two to play? Aiming a Vine Shaper unkicked, huh? Sure. Yeah, now we can just attack with Reckless Abandon. Does not have Secret Reach. Pass turn. Next turn we have Tallest Lookout. Official Beats in the Sky plan on a double overtime. We're gonna take some damage here, but I'm okay with that. Really? My turn? Yeah, we're just gonna play this. Oh wow. Well, Argivian Phalanx is not a card to scoff at. We're just gonna attack for 3 though. And we're not going to do anything else. I think we can just hold up Protect. Well, I'll play at the Tallest Lookout. 3 flying creatures taking 6 in the air possibly. They have 3 basic land types. They can't quite cast themselves a Sojourner. Sojourner's 1 mana off here. They can cast some removal spells. Yeah, that one's fine with me. But that's their turn. See, I would like to block because I get a free card out of it, but I also don't want to block because, well, I just have better things to do, like attack. Now I think that we're supposed to hold up Protect for 3, play up the Mana Worker. Seems a little odd, but this holds back blocks and we can still cast Protect. And they're taking so much damage in the sky that, what? Yeah, that doesn't really bother me at all. Okay, well, now I'm in a bit of an awkward spot. Yeah, we're just gonna attack for more damage in the air, like, no reason to do much of anything else. I'm not even gonna play out the Phalanx, doesn't do anything on this board. So we have counter unless they pay 4, and they're at 7 life. Alright, well, if their plan is do nothing, I'm okay with that. So this will cost 2 if I kick this turn, so we're just going to go ahead and go to combat. They're just going to take damage, and I'm just going to play out the Phalanx. Still have counter up unless they pay 3, which is fine by me. I know it might be a little bit greedy to keep the shields down here, but like counter unless they pay 4 is still just way above par. Like I don't see a way that they can get out of this very easy, and they don't. They just concede. Well, that's the power of flying. Welcome to Limited. I don't know if they were just color screwed or maybe they had some awkward draws or what was going on there, but for them to just do nothing some of those turns, definitely something I'm happy with. I don't know why this card looks like Meryl Streep. We have a 1, a 3, and a 4. Admittedly, pretty awkward, but I'm going first. I don't think I can mull. Are they on the mull? Looks like they might be going to 6 here. Oh wow, they went to 5. Yikes. Well, never like to see that. Although it does put up my win percentage a healthy amount, I don't really enjoy it because I've been there plenty of times and I know that it sucks. Just gonna attack here. They could have like a runic shot or whatever, I'm not worried about it. We're also playing black, white, and blue, so like if they have some kind of removal spell, so be it. We're not going to play around anything here, we're just going to attack. Play the Nano Worker, pass turn. They have something devastating here, we can Citizen's Arrest. Artillery Blast, yeah, not really worried about that. I was going to get something eventually anyway, and my mana's okay. A second removal spell's fine. We're just going to cast a Sky Knight and pass turn. Although at this point we have actually 3 removal spells, so we're kind of a little hefty there. We can start attacking for 3 in the air. Well, if I don't cast this now, so yeah, we're gonna enlist. They can artillery blast it or whatever if they want. I got my Argivian Phalanx down, so I am happy. Their own Argivian Phalanx. Well, that's a fine card, but I think we're supposed to just Citizen's Arrest it here. Well, actually, we don't really have a reason to when we can just enlist into the Sky Knight, huh? It's fair. Samite Herbalist, and then next turn we can Citizen's Arrest their Phalanx away. Then we can enlist into, we can enlist the Samite Herbalist and attack with the Phalanx maybe. Seems like a pretty okay game plan. Of course my opponent was on a Mold of 5, but like, doesn't really change much for me. Removal spell on my flying creature would be kind of annoying. Oh wow, well I'm okay with that. That's just them down a card. Of course that card was going to probably kill them, but like, nothing I can do about that. Well, Sacred Peaks is another white source at least. Yeah, we're gonna just try to Citizen's Arrest here. Okay. Well, Raff is fine. Yeah, we'll keep a Raff. Leaving Sky Knight or Skyrider? No, nothing. Alright, well, not really afraid of nothing. I'm expecting a concession here. Vivisector. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, admittedly, like, none of the cards in my hand are something I want to use here. So we'll just go to combat. Not going to use the citizen's arrest there. Well, actually, we can make this into a big flyer. We'll keep that on top. Join forces. Right. Yeah, take up the shield. Yeah, sure. Just gonna play this and pass turn. I mean, they're still in a lot of trouble. Like, that just gives them 1 block and some life. They traded 1 for none. All right, cool. Not very fun for the opponent, sadly. They missed out on some cards there. They went to 5, and then they had the 2 for 1 themselves because they didn't draw the expendable creatures they needed. However, we're at 3-1, and what time is it? Alright, so after this game, I think I'm going to have to go. Well, if it goes quick enough, I might be able to cram 1 more. Problem with this hand is it doesn't really do anything. I don't really like mulling on the play, but that hand's just so bad. Yikes. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna keep it, and we're just gonna put the Sky Knight on the bottom. We have the Talarian Geyser to kind of help on mulligan ourselves. Drawing white card, not really what I had intended. We have far more blue cards than we have white cards here, but, you know, don't always get to choose what you want. Well, there's a card. No, I think we just play the Raff. Next turn we have Sky Rider into Shore Up. RN is a bit annoying. Admittedly, a little tedious that this is my draw instead of a... Well, actually, no, it's actually a pretty good draw. Oops. Been playing on Moto for the last day, so nice. Accidentally misplay that I can't take back, and you're going to try and take advantage of it. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Win percentage and all that. I am going to use the Shore Up here because I don't really have too many other options. Get hecked. We get the value, we save our thing, but the value is just we keep our creature and it doesn't cost us a card. It just costs us pretty much all of our counterplay. We're just going to take some damage here. Don't really think blocking is a pathway to victory. Now things are looking much better for us. Now we can just bounce the RN. We draw land, that's nice. And we're not going to attack, we're just going to pass here. Getting some pretty okay value and our life total is pretty okay. If they want to use their whole turn to kill my Argivian Cavalier, am I okay with that? Yes, we already went up a card here. Okay, well that's their whole thing. Fine by me. They should have attacked both if that was their plan, but, you know, I'm not gonna tell my opponent how to play the game. I think we're just going to play out the Battlewing Mystic. Then we're just going to pass turn. Hold up the Protect the Negotiators. Next turn, look to play Tallest Lookout. We are going to cast this, and we are going to kick it. Now we have great blocks. And we have 6 mana now, so Cleaving Skyrider, or we can play a Tallest Lookout and Salvaged Mana Worker. Yeah, admittedly, I would like to use the Cleaving Skyrider. I feel like that's just a good plan here. They have something, but yeah, we'll just attack in the air. Look out. Look out, look out, look out, look out. Mana Worker, pass turn. The shields are down now, but like we already have... Sure. Not really worried about that one. We have incredible blocks lined up, even if they attack all. Tallest Lookout goes on the Vanguard. Salvaged Mana Worker blocks the Resolute Reinforcements #1. Token blocks Sleeper. Alright, so one of the cards that like gets me here is Join Forces. But even so, I think I'm very happy about this attack. Yeah. No attacks is good for me. Alright, now I think we can safely hold up the Cleaving Skyrider. We're just going to attack here. No reason to do anything. We can pump our crew. Their attacks on the ground are miserable. We can also just use a Cleaving Skyrider. Kind of just have infinite options here. Griffin Protector is not a card I'm afraid of here. Looks like they still don't have attacks. Alright, well, Citizen's Arrest is strong, but it's the only card we can cast if we want to get the full value. Even so, I think we're going to attack with the Tallest Lookout. If they'd like to trade, that's okay with me. Yeah, going ahead in the damage race. They have some stuff, not really concerned. I mean, we are going to do it. We have, well, is there any way that this goes poorly for us? Yeah, there are, but I don't really think there's any reason to hold back here. Or really cast this. Yeah, fine by me. We're just going to play on the island, then we're going to go to combat. Or are we just going to use the citizen's arrest? We're going to use citizen's arrest here. We're going to play the Najal second main. They go to 6, we play a 5-4. Their best attacker is Elos, and we could just take 3 off of it. Untap, kill them. Definitely not a game that seems very good from where I'm sitting, for them anyway. Now the interesting thing is that we have seen 3 ways to play green spells. So I'm expecting like Queen all in all or something. But who knows? Could be the case that they have some crazy bomb they want to share. Repossession for 1. Yeah, that's fine. Well, combat research is a card I'm pretty happy about. We're not going to pay. We're going to kill the R in here. Leave open white, blue mana, rather. Oh, well, that's fine. Take free value. I was going to kill the Arn anyway, so... Well, we're going to try and kill the Arn, like, not much else to do. Combat trick? Sure. They gain some life. We draw a card. I don't really think we play the land. So all we have to do is survive here and they just die next turn. They have 1 card. Hard to imagine that's enough to kill me. We have 1, 2, 3. We can even block with a Raff without any fear. Because we have 8 power in the air already. Well, no, we have 7. So we do need Raff to live. Alright, well... I mean, they can't activate twice, can they? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, they can't. They have 9 mana here. No way to cheat that. Doesn't matter if they have a land in their hand and haven't made a land drop. Can't unturn this clock. Alright, so... They do have pump once. With that in mind, we should be blocking 1 to save damage, 2 to save life total. This here. This here. This here. This here. Yeah, we take 5. Lose our thing. Kill there. Jump there, jump there. Wow, okay. That's a bit of a beating, to be honest. So I can... Oh, they get vigilance as well. Okay. That's pretty good. Alright, so we have 5 blockers against a bunch of stuff. Can we live here? I think so. So we do have to put 2 things on the knight, unfortunately. It's actually a much closer game than I thought. Like, they had a pretty great follow-up to an okay combat. Well, destroy evil on that is fine with me. It is a little annoying, but... Alright, so they don't have mass pump. They have no onboard tricks. I can take 4. So what are we doing? Block. Well, I can't do that very well, can I? Alright. So we need to block here, otherwise we die. We might just be dead no matter what we do, huh? Alright, yeah, I have some timeouts, so I'm not really worried about that one. Yeah, looks like we are just kind of dead here, huh? A little unfortunate, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Very nice. Cool. I get it. So we block those. We take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Block that. They pump. Block there. It's only 2 things. We die. Yeah, fair enough, I guess. Yeah, a little unfortunate the way that went. What? Why did our tier go up there? I'm very confused. Would have... And we're at 15 after. Not really a great plan for me to play another game, but I'm going to. Pretty strapped for time right now, but... Alright, this is a fine enough hand. I got a little mystic. Fine by me. Mana worker. Next turn, I think we're just going to runic shot that down, and we're also going to kick probably. They very well could have something, couldn't they? Yeah, they got something. Alright, well, don't really see any reason to do any of this stuff. We're just gonna pass for now. Impulse. Sure. They could still have shore up, so doesn't really mean that the way that we played was wrong. And one of the ways this game goes poorly for us is if we just preemptively start firing off removal spells. Sure. We are going to play out the Skyrider, but we're not going to block with it, so yeah, we're just going to pass here. Fine by me. Mess and scatter. Okay. Alright, well, kind of happy about a shore up. Alright, well, I'm having nothing is interesting. Well, admittedly, I want the 5th land, but like, next turn, yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, I'll just keep the land on top. Now we have shore up for a removal spell. Well, that's certainly annoying, but we can remove it for free, basically. The equity on this Fires of Victory is getting lower by the turn, but whoopsie. Oops. Yeah, okay, good for me, I guess. Yeah, we're gonna play out the land, the shame land. No tax. Yeah. My plan was just to hold up the shore up, but now I think this game's just out of my hands. We spewed a removal spell on literally nothing. We're not really blocking, so now it looks like they might have a shore up. Well, they definitely have a removal spell, which makes sense. Play out the Argivian Cavalier, attack for 1. Pass. We have Fires of Victory that we can use to lightning bolt something. Not really blocking, so whatever. Haunting Figment. Okay. Soaring Drake. Well, we have to kill the Soaring Drake, sadly. But we do get a... Well, that's unfortunate. I would have liked to have played that. Might just be doing it anyway, though. Can't really do too much attacking, so we won't. That's a bit annoying. They get a couple cards. Are they still attacking? Okay, they are. Well, we're going to go to blocks. Block here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we need to use our thing here. We'll shore up on the token. They have a trick. Okay, fair enough, I guess. Yeah. Guess I should have seen that one coming. Talarian Geyser. It's okay, I guess. Vohar. Jeez. Okay. My opponent on mono, things to do over there. Anyway, we're going to kick the fires of victory. We're going to block the Haunting Figment, or Talarian Terror rather. Well, if they have removal, we're just dead. They have 2 cards in hand. What are the odds that they're both bangers? Well, higher than 0, but not 100%. Really? Another one? Okay, yeah, sure, buddy. Yeah, very cool. Well, that's how that draft ends. Some serious misplays on my end. Alright, well now I just think this thing's busted, because we have moved from this to this twice in a row. Alright, well thank you for tuning in. This has been an interesting draft for me. 3-3, due to some misplays. Not the worst draft I've ever had, but far from what I was looking for. We'll even open up our consolation packs here in the video for you. Come on. Just up there. It's very slow. Cool. Alright, well thank you so much for tuning in. You've been watching RobotRallis. Feel free to check out my first article on hipstersofthecoast.com. It is about the top 10 cards in Dominaria United Limited that you are hoping to play but not hoping to see on the other side of the table. Not necessarily about power level, just 10 cards I felt like talking about because I was either sick of seeing them, sick of losing to them, or very happy with how they've played. Once again, if you have enjoyed this content, I encourage you to like, possibly comment, or even subscribe. I'm going to be posting consistent content basically every day unless there's some kind of unexpected event happening. Have a good time.